Hello. Welcome. Welcome. Just gonna wait for a few minutes to see who is gonna jump on today. I'm so excited today. I feel like something amazing is happening. Feels so good. Okay. So, welcome to Golden Coaching Solutions. My name is Maxine Golden, and today I want to find out, before we start our show, how can I help you today? Tell me if that music in the back's too loud. I just thought it'd be a nice kind of touch. Let me know if that's all right. And let me know if you can hear me. Can you hear me? It's going to finish soon anyway. Yeah, actually, it's only a few minutes long. Let me know if you can hear me. You're jumping on and you can see me. Can you see me? Can you hear me? Can you see me? Why don't you drop me a line? Let me know. Let me know. Let me know. Let me know. I'm just going to wait for the first comment and then I will jump in. And I would just want to say thank you. Thank you to my husband for always being there and supporting me and taking this journey with me. So I'm just going to give thanks and praise to God. I just want to thank him for everything that he's done from the beginning to the end. I just want to thank him. Yahweh, you are the Alpha and the Omega, and I just want to praise you today. So I want to give you all the glory and all the praise. Okay, so how can I help you today? Or maybe I should say, like, how can you help yourself today? Today, I want to talk about God confidence versus self-confidence and ask the question, do we need both? Do we need one only or the other only? Can we get along without God? Can we get along with God and not need to have self-confidence? Like, what do you think? Okay, so I'm going to start by sharing a little bit of my journey. And when I was younger, oh, thanks, babe. When I was younger, so much younger than today, I thought I never needed anybody's help in any way, right? But then I discovered not so. That's a good song. So I used to be plagued with like low self-esteem, insecurity, lack of confidence, insecurities and doubt, just not believing in myself whatsoever. And even though my mum would tell me, you know, you're beautiful, you can do anything, the world is your oyster, she would say. Coming from a rich, mixed heritage, she would say, you know, you've got the best of both worlds. When children would kind of put out learned behavior of racism and call me names, she would be like, they're confused. Like, you have the best of both worlds. You have a richness in culture like no other. You have been to places like as a child where nobody else has been, you know, like as my father grew up, well, he was born in Trinidad, and so he used to take us there. So I was really broadly introduced to different cultures, and different ways of living, and how people would carry themselves in different cultures too. So there was a kind of cultural competence to the experiences that I had. So even growing up as a child and being of mixed heritage, I wasn't confused. Like, I was not confused. And they used to say that, oh, in England, we'd say mixed race children, that, oh, they're confused. They don't know if they're one or the other. But I never had that identity crisis. My mum always instilled in me, that I could have the best of both worlds, that I was Maxine, and that was fine, that there was nothing wrong with me. That's probably where I get it from. So but even so, that she would like instill that confidence into me, I probably didn't believe it, because I was listening to other voices, right? Voices of self-doubt, voices of fear and worthlessness, you name it. Like, I had every negative mindset. It's so emotionally destructive, like, on the planet. Like, my life was internally stressful, and there was this like zero belief in my ability to be successful, even though I had good information coming to me, until I discovered God. And then my journey that way began. But before then, that record that played of doubt, insecurity, not being good enough, no self-confidence, lack of self-confidence, a belief that I was attached. Sorry, I feel like I've got a hair there. I was attached to, oh, I'm smiling. I was attached to work or school grades. if I was attached to school grades, trust me, I would not have stood a chance, because I didn't finish school, secondary school. I left school at 15 with nothing, like no exams. But I remember having a determination. I remember thinking, I need to do more. There's something else that I need to do. So, I went on to different jobs, trained to be a car mechanic, trained in sales, worked for British Telecom then, as it was. And I was still, not sure what I wanted to do, thought that I couldn't pursue because of that, pursue success because of that voice of insecurity. But I always had this desire, like, to be better. But I would fight, those voices, and just know that there was something better. There must have been something better. But the self-confidence that we need, I believe, is actually godly, in the sense that it's connected to our worth, right? That it's connected to God, that we have, there's God confidence and there's self-confidence, but the two like interplay with each other, in that when we trust in the Lord with all our heart and lean not on our own understanding, but in all of our ways acknowledge him, then he shall direct our path. But when you don't know that, you're scrambling for words of affirmation or self-confidence that you think is what you need to carry you through. However, the two really do interact together. So feelings of doubt and insecurity, not feeling validated, even if you were validated, even if you were told you could, there is still that feeling that exists inside of people, or that voice that will haunt them and taunt them and make them think that there's no way they can do it, kind of thing. And it's strong. It's a real strong force that really comes towards people no matter what their upbringing. So developing self-confidence is actually crucial to having an understanding of what God confidence is. I think I heard someone say Godfidence, so the two can go together. But if you don't have self-confidence, if you don't have the ability to believe that you can do something, then it doesn't matter how much God's word tells you that you can, and that you are more than a conqueror, and that you can do all things through Christ. You won't, because your doubt will be rooted in unbelief. And so it's uncovering those lies that you tell yourself, or that you've heard from the narrative of society. But just think about it. Like when you get in a car, into a car, and you drive, you learned to drive, hopefully. And you then get in your car, and as you grow in driving and experience, it begins to become automatic. And so, like you, even thinking about the subconscious mind that goes on to autopilot, where you just start off in one place, and then you before you know it, you've arrived. So you kind of drive on autopilot. But it's something that you learned and put into your brain because you needed to master that skill, right? Because if you never master that skill of driving, and you might find yourself in trouble because you might crash, or you might not drive very well, or you might not have an understanding of the rules and regulations of the road. So you do actually have self-confidence, or sitting in a chair, right? It kind of takes faith just to sit in this chair, because how do you know the chair's not going to fall apart when you sit in it? Excuse me. Maybe it will, but you don't check it every time you go to sit down. You just sit in it, right? So it's a belief, and it's a trust. And my wonderful coach, Myron, he said to me the other day, he's like, what's the root word of confidence? And I had this complete blank. I'm like, con. And he's like, no, that's a prefix. Yeah, oh god, yeah. Like, when you're with somebody that they're so well matured in their gift, right, or in their understanding and knowledge, that it makes you think like, oh, I don't know anything. Like, what do I know? So I'm like, I don't know. And then, but when he said it, I'm like, oh, of course. So the root word of confidence is confide, right? So to confide means to trust. And he had me look it up, and I looked it up. I'm like, oh yeah, trust. So, but I didn't think that I knew what confidence was. And I didn't kind of understand that I actually do have self-confidence, that I do believe in myself, that I know that I can do all things, because I was getting it confused with tying it up through God, that we as if when we become children of God, when we become believers, that we merge into him so far that we don't need our own confidence, that we just trust in the Lord and it's all going to be done. But that it doesn't make sense, because it's the same as having faith, right, but not activating it. So although he's given us faith of a mustard seed, if we do nothing with it, then it's going to just die. It will go into the ground. But if you don't water it and nurture it and tend to it with the right information and the right words, then it's just going to die in the ground, or it will grow up and it won't be a very good tree. It will bear bad fruit. And if you remember, like last week when we were talking about the fruits that we bear from our tree, that depends on what's in the root of the tree and the trunk that goes down into the soil, and depending on what your soil is, what the quality of your soil, it will then depend on the outcome of the fruit, the apples and oranges on your tree. And that is where I wanted to kind of open things up. So self-care is really tied in to confidence, right? And confidence is connected to competence and character. And it's not really a skill set. Like, you could do something over and over again, like 100 times, and then feel confident at doing it, right? But are you competent? Are you good at what you're doing because you have mastered the skill, not just because you kind of have parroted what needs to be done and you just kind of repeat and repetition and you do it? Is it inside of you? Does it come outside of you so much so that just is what you display? That's what you manifest in your own life, in your speech, in your talk, and how you interact with people. I wrote some notes here too. So, but that doesn't mean, right? Oh yeah. So that doesn't mean, like, if you go to school and they tell you, to do your math, and you do whatever it is that you do with that exercise, and then you've completed it and you get it right, that you're competent or confident. You may have just been compliant, right? You may have just been doing something because the teacher told you to do it. And as we know, don't want to digress off of there, but as we know, the school is a pipeline to the prisons. So they are not really wanting Black children and white working class children and Hispanic children of low income families to prosper and be confident. They don't want the entrepreneurs in the world to be of multicultural ethnicities and societies, because of the dominance that comes with entrepreneurship and the wealth that comes with it. So if you don't have the confidence and competence to push forward and go for your dreams, then you're not going to be in the 1% of winners that go forward and make their dreams come true and change their lives and be able to leave a legacy for the children. And I just wanted to read a quote by Tom Hopkins. He says, to master the art of selling everything, there is pain in change until the benefits of that change appear. So to master the art of selling everything, so that doesn't just mean like, a salesperson in a shop who's selling jeans, right? Or a car, material stuff. It means about selling your own self to your dream, to manifest that in the natural realm, so that you can then become wealthy and leave a legacy for generations to come. So the master of selling everything, the art of selling everything, there is pain in change until the benefits of change appear, right? So confidence comes from within, right? It has to be congruent with everything that you do. It has to align with your thoughts, with your behaviors, with your actions, with the way that you carry yourself. If you're thinking one thing and doing another thing, then it's incongruent. It's out of alignment. It's not in balance. It is not in synchronization. Because I was thinking of syncretism. So it's not, well, yeah, it could be like sort of syncretist because it's mixed up with everything else, right? There's some truth and there's some lies in there. There's some things that you're telling yourself that you believe to be true, but they're not actually true, right? So they are making your belief faulty because you're believing one thing, telling yourself another thing. So if you want to change the way that you think, if you want to really push forward and do that thing that you want to do, to open that business, start that venture that you have in your vault of dreams, and you've kept it deep inside, you have to master the art of many skills and become really competent at them so that you can do it without thinking, like automatically, right? But moreover, you have to develop your character. And so if your character, which is integrity, right, which becomes as a whole person, as a whole like entity, so that everything that you do lines up with the way that you think, the way that you speak, the way that you see things, the way that you hear things, the way that you deal with things, that you are rock solid, that you stand on the faith, stand on your faith, even if nobody else agrees with you, that you will not back down because you know the God that you serve, right? So these things all have to come into alignment. And that means not accepting what people might say to you. What people might say to you when you say, oh, I'm going to do this, or, oh, I'm thinking about traveling the world, and then you hear, oh, that's dangerous, or oh, be careful, all those cautionary backpedaling fear-based lies that people want to say and speak and tell you that you shouldn't, reasons why you shouldn't do it. So you have to be prepared to stand up and say, no, don't tell me that. I'm not going to accept that. I don't accept it into my mind. I don't accept it into my spirit, and I don't accept it into my world. So you can, just nicely say to them, no, thank you. That is not where I'm coming from. If it was, then I wouldn't do it. So your self-confidence has to be built up through self-love, right? Which is not selfish, not talking about just thinking about yourself and nobody else, in the respect that you become like greedy and withhold love and affection and kindness, but a selflessness that is bringing love to the world through like God's love, unconditional love, and self-care. That means that you put yourself first, that under God's care, it's like it's a hierarchy, but it's not, because he's already the creator of the universe. So under God's care, you care and tend to yourself, right? You become conscious and aware of things that you're thinking, things that you're saying, things that you're doing, and actions that you will take as a result of things that you think about. So if you're harboring negativity, if you're harboring doubt or thoughts of insecurity, remember we spoke a couple of weeks ago about the 4 steps, the process of forgiveness, forgiving yourself, forgiving others, letting God off the hook, and releasing yourself, so that you recognize that it's not in your own strength that you can do these things. Now, this the same as when Joshua was going to go into the promised land. Like, this is, think about it in the natural. If you are about to break through, if you know that you are pushing and forging ahead, but you just have that self-doubt, or you're just not like taking the next step or doing that one thing that you know that you need to do to move forward, then remember these words. Have I not commanded you to be strong and courageous? Do not be afraid. Do not be discouraged, for the Lord thy God is with you. Oh, I didn't get all of the scripture on there, but that he is with you. He is never going to leave you, never going to forsake you. So do you see where your confidence, self-confidence, and God's confidence merges? So again, you can do anything you want without God. You can do anything you want. You can achieve. There are so many like billionaires, so many successful, whatever that word means. We could define it, but then it would, I'd be restricting it to what I think. But success, what is success for you? What do you want to continue to achieve? And again, so there are many people on the planet that are very successful, and they're atheists, or they're thought leaders, and they're they're entrepreneurs, and they've made millions, and they change people's lives, but they don't believe in God, or they don't believe in the God of Yahweh. They have other gods that they serve, or entities that they enter into covenant and contracts with, that lead them to a position of power, but they are leading people to hell because they don't have the covenant of Yahweh of eternal salvation. They don't have the covenant that when they leave this earth, that not only would have they completed their mission, but they would then become, as I said last week, immortal, that they would not live forever in heaven, because of the covenant maker that cannot lie, and tells us that the only way to the Lord is through Yahweh, is through Yeshua, through his son. And that way we can know for sure that we have already moved into the promised land. So we can be strong and we can be courageous, even when we don't feel like it, even when we don't see what it is that we are going towards and what we want to achieve. We can still do it. We can be confident in the Lord, knowing that he's already done his part, but we have to do our part, right? We have to do our part. So just a reminder from last week that God has not given us a spirit of fear, but of power and of love and of a sound mind. And he has told us to be courageous. You can line up scripture with so many human traits and human feelings and beliefs that line up with God, or counteract him. But if you bring the two together, then you've got this beautiful, like I want to say synchronicity again, or symbiosis, as a little 4-year-old said. Somebody that I know's child, he came out with that word. I was like, oh my God, that's so beautiful. And he was 4 and he knew what symbiosis meant. So there is that relationship. So you can have, again, your yin and your yang, your I was going to say ping and your pong, but those the two things that match, right? But when you have God confidence and self confidence, then you have everything. You have it all. So I didn't say who I was at the beginning of the show. So I want to start kind of winding down and bringing things in to a close. But this week I want you to, I've got something here. I want you to remember. No, I want you to go to this website, maxinegolden.org, and there's some freebies on there that you can just click and download. There's some audios and some PDFs that you can have for free. And I want you to be able to look at where you are with yourself in relation to your confidence, your self-confidence and your God confidence. How much of it have you kind of pushed down? How much of your self-confidence have you pushed down? How much have you kind of not realized that you actually have? And then look at how much you've been relying on God and waiting for him to do whatever it is that you want him to do. And so when you bring those two things together and you commit and you make a decision and you're consistent and you become a connoisseur of your life, where you develop these thought patterns and ways of thinking and behaviors, and your spiritual conduct lines up with your life, then you'll be more congruent, in alignment. You'll be able to, all your ducks will be in a row, and even if they wobble off the wall sometimes. I was just thinking of a woman in, what was her name, in Coronation Street, Hilda. She used to have it's a British TV show, and she would have 3 ducks on the wall, and I just remember that was, my mind just went there thinking about those ducks. So anyway, I digress. But yeah, consistency is key in anything that you do, and committing and believing in yourself is key. Now, if you don't keep your word to yourself, if you don't follow through with what you are supposed to do for yourself, no wonder you don't believe. No wonder you have this self-doubt, because you've been lying to yourself. That's what was happening to me. My head was not clear. My narrative of who I was confused and cloudy, and so I listened to so many different things that I had no concrete foundation on who I was as a person. And then coming into to know Christ, I began to discover that more and more and more. But it's still a journey, and it's still something that needs to be developed over time. And so, I would say to you, don't just think that you can do it, or don't just think these things. You have to walk into the blueprint of God, the map that He has for you. It's not just just read the word, He's going to do it. Just learn about marketing and sales, and then I'll do it. You've got to do what I'm doing. You've got to put yourself in front of a camera, or do a podcast, write a song, write a book, write your poetry, develop your skill set, and master those skills so that it becomes automatic, and work on your character so that you master those things that will take you into higher places, and you will be known as a person of integrity, and you will break through in all those areas. And that's, again, at Golden Coaching and Consultancy. I like to say, like, life-changing coaching, because there's so many. I always go to say like coaching, life-changing coaching, right? That's what we do, is help you get yourself into alignment, bring yourself into a place where you believe what you say, so that it doesn't matter if nobody else believes you, but you believe what you say, that you are in alignment with your word, and so that you can go forth and bring your gift to the world, because somebody's waiting. Somebody needs to hear what you have to say. And if I just look at where I am now, like sitting here in front of you talking about this stuff, this was just things that I kept in my head for years and never got it out of my head. So I'm really encouraging you to get it out of your head. Get out of your head. Go and do something different. Go and do something that you are afraid to do, and remember that there's nothing wrong with you, that the Lord is with you, and that He is the one that you go through on His strength, and you rely on Him, and you trust in Him, and you confide in Him. But you need to trust and believe yourself also. Oh, hey Vanessa, tudo bem? Tenho saudades para você também. And so you have to go forward and march, right? March to the sound of God's beat. March to the sound that He's given to you to bring forth your dream. breakthrough on every level so that you can live a higher standard of life in your in wealth, your finances, in your spiritual life, in your physical life, your mental, emotional life. Raise up your spiritual intelligence. Be confident, confide and trust in yourself. Become competent and master yourself, right? Harness your gifts, harness yourself, bring yourself to a place of mastery so that you can then push and give out to others and push them out too, so that they will launch themselves into their dreams and into their world and their business and their visions of things that they've always wanted to do but been too afraid. And so that's what I encourage you to do today. Don't leave it. Like the time is now. The time is now. So if you want to have unshakable, unstoppable, unending confidence, you have to move. It's time to move out, right? It's time to move out. It's time to be the king or the queen of your inheritance, to leave your legacy, to be confident, to be courageous. Get rid of the lies, work on you, work on your character, raise yourself up. It does not matter where you've come from, what color you are. You know what the odds are, and you know the odds that are stacked against you from the beginning anyway. So you already have that intelligence. So go forth and multiply, replenish the earth, dominate, do what God has given you the power to do. Remember, God confidence and self-confidence can go together, okay? They can go together and they can work in harmony, but you have to step forward. You have to put your foot forward, just one step at a time. That's all you need to do. All right, so I'm going to sign off for today. I think that, I mean, I've got other things that I wanted to say, but that kind of brings it to a close. Just think about the people in the Bible that were unconfident, things that happened to them, Gideon, Moses, you know, these people, they did not have courage, Joshua, but God said to them, you know, I am that I am. So you can do all of those things in him, but you have to have that congruence in your own life where your self-confidence lines up. So anything that you're telling yourself that doesn't line up with the word of God, with positivity, with you can do, then cancel it. Don't accept it. Don't believe it. Don't have it. Okay. So thank you. Thanks for tuning in today. And I will see you next time. Peace to the Middle East. And here we go again, as if I can get out of here. Okay. Bye.